The Dark History of the Cecil Hotel, LA's most haunted building. In the heart of downtown Los Angeles stands a building with a reputation darker than almost any other in the United States, the Cecil Hotel. A place so infamous it's been called cursed, haunted, and even evil. Over the decades, the hotel has been home to mysterious deaths, suicides, serial killers, and one of the most disturbing missing persons cases ever caught on camera. This is the full timeline of the Cecil Hotel, and why so many people believe it's more than just coincidence. The Cecil Hotel opened in 1924. It was designed as a luxury hotel for business travelers and tourists, with marble lobbies, stained glass windows, and 700 rooms. But just a few years later, the Great Depression hit. Downtown Los Angeles changed, and so did the guests. The Cecil became a hotspot for drifters, addicts, and people who had nowhere else to go. And that's when the deaths began. Between the 1930s and 1960s, the Cecil developed a nickname, the Suicide Hotel. At least a dozen people, possibly more, jumped to their deaths from the upper floors. Others poisoned themselves. Some slit their wrists in the bathtubs. One man even jumped from a window and killed a pedestrian below. It became common knowledge. If you saw someone standing near the window at the Cecil, they might not be admiring the view. In 1944, a woman named Dorothy Purcell was staying at the Cecil with her boyfriend. She woke up in the night with stomach pains, went to the bathroom, and gave birth. But she said she didn't know she was pregnant. Believing the baby was stillborn, she threw the newborn out the window. It landed on a nearby roof. She was later found not guilty by reason of insanity. One of the most famous murder victims in American history, Elizabeth Short, was rumored to have stayed at the Cecil Hotel before her death. She became known as the Black Dahlia. There's no proof she was actually there, but the rumor has lasted for decades. In 1985, serial killer Richard Ramirez, also known as the Night Stalker, was living on the top floor of the Cecil Hotel. He had already begun his killing spree. He would return to the hotel after each murder, covered in blood, and walk through the lobby unnoticed. Ramirez stayed at the Cecil for $14 a night. No one suspected a thing. In 1991, another serial killer, Jack Unterweger, checked into the Cecil. He was a journalist from Austria, but he was also a convicted murderer. He was supposed to be rehabilitated. Instead, while staying at the hotel, he murdered 3 sex workers in Los Angeles, all while pretending to cover crime stories. Again, the Cecil became a killer's hideout.
2013, the case of Elisa Lam.
The most famous case linked to the Cecil happened in 2013. Elisa Lam, a 21-year-old student from Canada, checked into the hotel while traveling alone. Days later, she disappeared. The only clue, a surveillance video from the hotel elevator. In the footage, she appears to be talking to someone who isn't there, hiding, then making strange movements before stepping out of frame. Her body was found weeks later, in a water tank on the hotel's roof. Guests had been drinking and showering in the water. The police ruled it an accidental drowning, but many believe something darker was at play.
Modern Reputation and Netflix series.
The Cecil closed for renovations in 2017 and reopened as a low-income housing complex. But its legacy hasn't faded. In 2021, Netflix released a documentary, Crime Scene: The Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel. Focused on Elisa Lam's case, it brought the hotel's reputation back into the spotlight.
Conclusion: a cursed place?
Some believe the Cecil is cursed. Others think it's just a sad product of its environment. It sits near LA's Skid Row, surrounded by poverty and mental illness. But there's something about the pattern that keeps people coming back. Why do so many violent, tragic events happen in the same building? Coincidence? Or something that can't be explained? What do you think is really going on with the Cecil Hotel? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe to Mystery Logbook for more real-life stories that never got answers. We'll also be diving deeper into each of the major cases mentioned in this video, from Richard Ramirez to Elisa Lam, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any part of this series.